Since The Believer hinges on its main character, the first challenge for director Henry Bean was casting Danny. His search began when he made a short version of the film as part of the scripting process.
In making that short film, I hired to play the Jewish Nazi, Danny Balint, a young man named Judah Lazarus, who had ambitions to be an actor, but was really a gaffer by trade. I think he does a brilliant job in the short.
You print that shit in the New York Times, and I'll kill myself.
I learned something from that was very crucial. I had always imagined Danny as an intellectual, a bookish character. But Judah is something which is actually not very uncommon. He's an Orthodox kid who's a street kid. He's a tough kid. He's a kid who gets into fights. And he brought to the character a kind of physicality, a toughness. And he brought to the ideas a visceral experiencing of them that completely transformed the way I saw the character.
Judah Lazarus had brought Bean's character to life. But the filmmakers needed an actor to sustain the role for a feature film.
I had a real problem. And my problem was that though Judah Lazarus wasn't an actor, he was better than any actor I'd seen. And I knew he couldn't do it, and I felt like, how am I ever going to find a replacement? I saw maybe 50 or 60 actors here in New York, and then I went out to LA and saw 100 more in a week. And Ryan was the 100.
Ryan Gosling.
After an exhaustive search, the filmmakers took a gamble on an unknown actor who seemed in many ways completely wrong for the part.
The casting called for someone in their mid to late 20s who looked passably not Jewish, but also passably Jewish, and probably someone who had some, in real life, working knowledge of Judaism, of the Torah, and of Hebrew. Well, the very, very last person who comes in is Ryan Gosling. He's 19. He hasn't read the script, and he is completely wrong in every way imaginable for this part.
He was tall and skinny, had a lot of blonde hair sticking out under a knit cap, and he was gangly, and he lay down on the floor, and he gave an audition that was extremely distinctive.
What? You think I'm Jewish?
You know, I'd seen the film scene done 150, 200 times, and he made it new.
I don't know. I don't know how I got this role.
Hey!
I was trying to convince them that I could do it, but more importantly, trying to convince myself. You put that in the New York Times. It was like a harder sell.
I tried to make a lot of choices in the course of the film that would make you half think you were seeing a real event rather than a staged event. And actually the choice of Ryan was one of those, because some of the alternates to Ryan were people whose faces and names were known. And I felt that you would say, oh, so-and-so's doing a pretty good job here. But if you were looking at an actor you had never heard of and never seen before, you'd forget that. And you would just be there thinking, my God, maybe they found one of these guys and they got him to stand up in front of a camera.